Welcome to Mentality, the first ever male-only cast talk show that seeks to break the myth that you can only have mainstream talk on TV and seeks to ensure that we see the whole panorama of male behavior by discussing topics relating to men but affecting women. The family division of the High Court is one of the busiest, especially with one or both parties in a relationship seeking to end their union. Reason? Irreconcilable differences. Tonight, we will seek to find out what these reasons are. When is the right time to walk away from a wrong relationship? My name is Ian Bogua, and my co-hosts, as usual, Pastor S.
Hello.
And Edward Quach.
Hello, hello.
Let's hit the streets and see what men think about this.
I think when a relation becomes abusive, or when one of the partners is not faithful, then I think at that time the relationship is very dangerous because you don't know what you're getting into.
When you try to solve the issues that makes you not understand each other, you don't have to live in a marriage whereby you don't understand each other, so you have to walk away.
When you see that your relationship is not working, maybe you have stayed for a long time, but you have disagreements every now and then, and maybe disagreements about life, I think that's the right time to walk out of the relationship.
Quach.
When you walk away, well, I think that the obvious ones there, of course, infidelity and violence, right? But I mean, to me, there are other reasons as well. I mean, for example, when you start thinking about when she starts disrespecting you. How? And I'm talking about disrespect in the sense that, you know, there's some things that no matter what is said and done, Simon, they need to remain in the home. For example, if we're going to have a debate in public, right, and you're constantly bringing me drama in front of friends, relatives, and associates, it's time to go.
Okay, Pastor, you marry couples and you tell them, and they say their vows till death do us part.
Yeah, before I get into that, the reasons Quach has brought to the floor, let me just say there are actually reconcilable differences for every couple.
Right.
First one is male, the other is female.
Yes.
That in itself is huge.
Yes.
They're two worlds apart.
Yes.
So when you just say reconcilable differences, then you know, everyone qualifies to walk away. I would say before you get married, before you make that commitment, you're free to walk away. If you don't like, for example, if your values don't match, because you can't live together unless you agree on certain things. It might be about finances, might be about how to do life, might be about going out and what time you come back and whether you want her to come back for Quach. Whatever it is, you need to agree in advance. If you can't agree on certain things because of values, then walk away before you make the commitment. After you've done your due diligence and prepared yourself and known this person, we share values, we share general goals in life, we're going towards the same place. And even though there are issues here and there, we can work on them. We have the love and the commitment to work on them. Once you say, I do, I ascribe to that commitment. You keep it till death do you part. Unless, of course, a few things come up. Infidelity is wrong, but I wouldn't send away my wife, or she wouldn't send me away just because you failed once. I would see it this way, that if someone becomes a serial cheater, and they've been talked to, and they've been counseled, and they don't want to turn away from that, then at that point you will say this person is not serious about this commitment. You can walk away. Whatever difference, even violence, once in a while someone may get, you know, angry and slap someone. It should never be tolerated. But that in itself may not be reason enough to walk away from a marriage you've invested in. You need to talk about it and say, why did that come? Is it going to come again? How can we work on it? In other words, before you walk away, you should try everything possible to save that marriage, if from the beginning you did your due diligence and prepared.
So Ian, you should have known better than to ask him when can one walk away, because he would say never ever. And ideally that's what he said.
Is there a time when you would tell a man to walk away from his marriage?
Yes.
What are the reasons,
I've
and
probably
when does he do it?
done that to one or two.
Okay.
One, it's because the lady was very abusive in terms of violence. She was actually beating him up. She was emotionally abusive, calling him all manner of names. She wouldn't show up at home sometimes for 3 days, and she wouldn't want to be asked where she was. I mean, at that point, there's really no relationship.
I've got to ask, what
And
is
she had
wrong with
been-
him?
She had been talked to, she had been counseled, and nothing had changed for over 3 years. At that point, I advise a man, for your health, emotionally and otherwise, walk away.
Of all the people that you've counseled here, are you telling me there's some scenarios where, because I don't see any man finding out that his wife, not girlfriend, his wife has cheated on him, and then he will chill?
There are many.
There are.
What happened? What did you do?
Don't make this personal.
No, you can ask. It is not me.
Me.
But I do know
Yes.
of men who know that their wives have cheated on them.
Right.
And they have worked it out.
But that's because he was also a cheater.
Oh, by the way, you see,
Oh no, you guys know guys who are faithful, and then the wife has stepped out of table.
for
of
you,
the
you
room.
expect to be allowed to fall once and
Yes.
cheat.
Not once, not twice, not
constantly.
3 times.
Of course.
That's what we do. But I'm talking about her.
I'm sorry for underrating you. But you expect to be forgiven, right? And to move on. So I've had cases. Let me
Right.
just tell you one.
Right.
This guy calls me and tells me, I suspect this lady is cheating on me.
Yes.
And she's pretty a good person.
Right.
So she says, let me find out.
Yes.
She got to find out.
Yes.
And they sit down, and we get to sit down together.
Yes.
And we get to find out, to ask, why would you cheat?
Yes.
This guy has been faithful. He's done everything right. Why would you cheat?
Yes.
And she begins to say, I'll not go into the details,
Yes.
but she begins to say, to bring up issues from the very beginning, issues they had never dealt with,
Yes.
from the beginning of marriage,
Yes.
from even before they got
Yes.
married.
Yes.
Some disappointment and other things she
Right.
had gotten.
Right.
That she had held on to that for a long time.
Right.
She said, it's not really that I wanted to cheat, but
Yes.
there's something that happened in me that died at that point.
Yes.
We've now talked about, and it sort of just manifested itself.
Right.
And in that context, the man saw clearly this woman didn't have evil intention. Something happened. She got tempted and she fell into this. You know what he said?
Yes.
He said, if I were me in your situation, I would have expected you to forgive
Yeah, but
me.
see, I think.
So I forgive you,
Yeah.
and let's work this out.
So I think, but that's the thing. I mean, they're very good at doing that. They being the women, they make you feel guilty for something that they've done. All right. So then they make
No, it
you
wasn't
stay.
like that. I mean, she
Okay?
said, I am responsible
Okay.
for this.
So Ian, no, let's go back to Ian. Now, forget those ones that went to see pastors, okay, or went for counseling, because then, of course, a woman, she puts a bowl of. She basically puts in a scenario where she will slip and fall and blame you for her slipping and falling. All right, make you feel guilty about it. Those people, the guys that you know, who found out that their wives were cheating, all right, are they in prison?
No.
For crimes of passion?
No.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Something's wrong with them.
For me, if you're married and then something like that happens, I've advised many men, walk away for some time. Let's see whether this can work. If it can't be redeemed after some time of talking to the lady or talking to the man, then now we can go into divorce. But let that be the last result. And
What
how
about the more
serious
common
Wait,
one?
wait,
Hold
wait,
on.
I'm coming
The
to
more
you.
common one, more common one, disrespect. Because now you see
Disrespect.
people, they tend to feel that they are, we're peers, we're at par. They can speak to me in public the way Ian does. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, unless
What
that
about one?
spills over,
Right.
I think it's just something hurting your ego.
Right.
It can be dealt with over time. I wouldn't advise separation at that point.
Right.
It's just something to talk about, unless it gets to a point where this lady is so arrogant
Right.
and rude
Right.
that it's obvious,
Yes.
objectively, that
Yes.
no man can sit there.
All right, Kwach, turn to you now. How long will you take before you walk away? Oh, well, I know you will kill her. Okay.
No, it's the dude that I killed.
No. Here she is.
Yeah.
She's she's beating you up.
Yes.
How long before you walk away?
No, you see now, by the way, I find those scenarios quite easy and hard at the same time to fathom, all right? Easy in the sense that... easy
You're
in the
high.
sense-
Listen,
yes.
you're high.
Yeah, those ones are easy to fathom.
Yes.
Okay?
You come home,
a guy
you're
can be
high,
fixed,
she beats you.
Yeah, you can be beaten like a snake. And of course, there's nothing you'll do about it.
How long before you walk away from that one?
No, that one, of course, when you sober up.
When she beats you this one time, that's it.
No. When you sober up, when you decide, I'm going to stop drinking so that I can... This stuff,
sober up as
yes.
in...
Yeah, I'm going to quit.
Okay,
right?
okay.
And then this maybe I need to walk away from this. But otherwise, if it's just
So,
that one...
wait, will he walk away from the drinking or will he walk away from the marriage?
No, he'll walk away from the
No,
drinking.
I'm talking about Kwach.
I walk away. First of all, I'll walk away from the marriage, huh?
Not the drinking.
Not the drinking. Okay.
So you prefer the bottle to the woman?
Yeah, because there's something that drove me to the bottle and it must be the woman.
Okay. Come on. You were drinking before you met her.
Then she wouldn't have married me, by the way.
All right, we're running short on time. I just have one more question. Would you advise a man to walk away in the case of infertility?
No, because there are other ways to solve that.
All right. Kwach, would you walk away if you found out your wife or you were unable to get...
As a couple, we're unable to have kids.
Yes.
Now, you see, I mean, generally, and we know stories of that happening a lot, okay? But what I find very unique is that most men walk away on that premise, but they never bother to check whether it's me or she who has got the issue. Because we walk away because we, 99.9% of the time, of course, all the time, we blame her.
Now,
for being...
would you walk away in that circumstance?
Yes, because me, I know I'm good.
I was about to say you become a good boy, but now you're spoiled.
You're watching Mentality, and we're asking the question, when does a man walk away from a wrong relationship? Don't go away. You're watching Mentality, the man's show. Tonight's topic, when should one walk away from a bad relationship? Our guest this evening is Emily Mutua, who's in talent management. Karibu.
Thank you.
Let's go to the streets and see what the ladies think.
When the relationship is not of value anymore, that's time to leave. That's what should determine.
I think when you should walk away from a relationship when you're not happy, or when that relationship makes you or to turn into someone you're not. Yeah, and when the goals you have for a particular relationship are not being met.
Money issues. The people who are like, if you don't have money in the current society, I'm walking away.
Well, clearly one thing came out, that abuse is the biggest reason why people should walk out of a relationship. It doesn't have to be physical. It could be emotional. It could be psychological. What are your views?
I agree with the abuse because at the end of the day, I think a man who abuses you physically first is not man enough, if you ask me, because he's picking the fight with the wrong person. I'm a woman, I'm not a man, so we shouldn't have that abuse in the home. And then from the African society or whatever society, by the time you hit me, you're disciplining me. So if we're in a relationship, we're in a marriage, whatever it is we're in, I don't think you have a right to discipline me because beating or spanking or whatever it is basically discipline. So abuse is a total no-go zone, physical abuse, yeah.
Any other reasons?
Disrespect also is something that I don't agree with because at the end of the day, no matter what differences we have, we shouldn't get to the point of disrespecting each other, whether it's in public or in the home or in front of the children. That's also not agreeable.
Now, there was a question of infertility. How would you deal with that? Would you advise somebody to walk away when there's no child from the union?
When it comes to infertility, I think at the end of the day, we didn't sign on for marriage or for the relationship to have children.
But what
Yeah.
Emily,
It wasn't for the children.
what was it for?
You loved me, I loved you, so we got married.
We hold our hands together for the rest of our
So
lives.
that we can have
Simon,
children.
can you please enter this, jump in?
The
deep
children
end here.
are an
It wasn't for
addition.
children, it's an addition. Those
They
are your
come and they'll
relations.
leave you there.
I'm sorry, I don't come to your office every Sunday, but, there's something that you guys say, I never go for the ceremony itself either.
clearly?
It's just the reception and the evening party. Now, listen, they say something about, you two have come together so that you can... Well, the word in my mind is breeding. And you
No.
know, there's a word there somewhere.
Wait, let's get the vowels from him.
Yeah.
The
That's
part
why
that
you
says,
don't come.
Yes.
I mean, we say for good or for worse.
All right.
At some point, we pray that there'll be fruitfulness.
Uh-huh.
But that's in addition to the relationship. The vows are between two people.
Right.
and I think
Children
you say
come
if you
and
bless
leave
them
you.
with children,
Yeah.
right? You say if you bless them with children.
Because some unions may not want children, others may not be able to get them, and they may not want to adopt or to do something else. But this commitment is between the two of you.
But-
the rest are additionals. They are third parties.
But I don't know, but whenever I get to the reception, people always talk about, you know what, now you guys go forth and breed. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, they are just encouraging them and praying blessing over them. But that's not the core of the relationship. Let me ask Emily.
Right. Yeah.
Have you had many cases, I know you talk to many women as well, of sexual abuse and whether that's reason enough for a woman to walk away?
I think first sex was created for recreation. Let's agree. It's something you do to have pleasure, to have fun, and whatever happens, the children come along at the end of the day. So I think for a man to come home and demand sex and he knows I'm not happy with it, it gets to a point, women will do it in the beginning. You know, I'll do it, I'll indulge you and everything. And at the end of the day, I'll get repulsive, you know, and I'll start feeling like you're taking away from me because I'm supposed to give it to you freely.
Okay.
I'm supposed to enjoy it.
Okay.
So by the time you come and demand it, as much as you're my husband,
Right.
it was meant to be had when we are.
Okay, marital rape, that's wrong.
Yeah.
But let's flip that script because I represent the boys here. Now, what about when you, the headache scenario, the headache syndrome, what about when she withholds sex, okay, from the man? Can he then walk away?
No,
Because of why?
because he needs to find out where she has a headache.
No, it might be your own issues. I didn't bring you KFC. That's not my problem.
No, you need to find out where I have a headache every other day.
You could be the cause of the headache.
You could be the cause of the headache.
Let me tell you guys one thing, by the way, because I love your unions, the both of you. When my head is aching, I don't want to know why you have a headache, by the way. It's that conversation can happen.
Yeah.
Okay, all the blood is in one place. Are we together? Okay. We can't vibe. Huh?
But
So-
why am I having the headache?
No, we can
because
talk
maybe
about-
the other thing you should ask yourself is, am I having the headache because I'm sorted?
No, okay, but why can't you
I
have...
mean, you need to find out where the headache is.
Which
there.
is fine, but why can't you have that headache? Because, you know, me, I don't need your head for me to perform.
We have the headache later.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? But
that's what I'm saying.
obviously you do know there are a lot of men, though, seriously,
Yeah.
who walk away because of that, though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You
Right.
need to find out why the headache. You
Right.
could because of the headache.
Right.
If maybe it came from I don't feel like today, not
Right,
today, not
right,
tomorrow.
right.
It gets to a point where I'm having a headache.
Right.
I think the best thing, the most civil thing to do is
Right.
find out why this headache,
Right.
or even maybe watch the patterns. Maybe she has headaches at certain times of the month.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay, and
So
then-
it's not a
Let's
reason
flip
to
it now.
move.
Yeah.
He says you talk to women. Do you have women who come and tell you that their husbands are denying them conjugal rights?
Yes.
Okay.
He's just not interested.
And
And I'm pretty, I dress well, I cook well, I take care of your house. I can compare myself with the next woman.
what do you tell her to do? Should she walk away
Probably
because
again
of that?
find out what's going on. Maybe it's
What
not
if it's
really.
someone like him who's stubborn and won't say what the problem is?
There are ways of finding out.
When should a woman walk away from physical abuse? Is it after the first beating? Is it after
When it's serial physical abuse.
How many times?
The first time he'll hit you, of course he'll say sorry and everything, and unless you're that principal person who says you can't hit me, you know what I mean? But I guess if he hits you and it comes back again and you realize it's the way he sorts things out. There are men who only know how to sort things out by the fist. So if that's the only kind of communication he understands, then I'm sorry, you don't sort it out when you have a concussion. So walk out.
Right.
You
What
don't
about,
want to find out whether he's going to kill you or whether you're going to survive.
what about if he's providing everything? If he's the money maker and there are children involved? And you've
So
got no,
would you
yeah.
rather be happy sleeping on a 6-foot carpet or on the
So you
cement floor?
still think she should walk away?
Because the children won't be happy whichever way you look at it. So I drive a Range Rover and I'm crying. I eat what I want, I'm crying. I'm going on holiday, I'm crying.
Now, when you walk away, are you talking about separation or are you ultimately thinking divorce? Do you walk away and try and get some time apart? And do you come back to try and reconcile? Or once you've walked away, that's it? If it's violence, number one, if it's violence,
Walking away for women, I'd say, is it's a process. By the time I actually walk away I get out of the house, I walked away a long time ago.
So
Because
you're not going away-
emotionally, I had actually walked away for
so
a
you're
woman.
not going away to,
You know
and
what I
then
mean?
to come back and
Now,
reconcile.
there's
Once
one
you're
thing,
out-
you can walk away to come back and reconcile,
Right.
but if you've tried the reconciliation before you walk away, then I can walk away for good. You know, if you've tried, there are circumstances where you've tried to work it out maybe for a year or two,
Right.
and it's just not making sense. And at that point, you say, I might go and never come back. There's always chances, women, let's be honest, there's always chances I'll hope to come back.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Do you know what, Emily? But see, that's just reminded me about a scenario that I think also you tend to find to be common in this society of ours. A lot of women walk away, that one of what you'd call at the drop of a hat. Muse went to work in the morning, he came back, he found the house was empty. Okay?
That's why I said she walked away a long time ago. You just didn't notice.
No.
Emotionally, she walked away.
No, but they do that. A lot of them do that. That one of, you know, that one of, it's the drum beats. She's threatening. She wants to see how he's going to react, for example, to a certain scenario. And then what he's got to do is go and do whatever it is, and then she will come back. You see what I mean? Why is that okay for women to do that? Because I think that's what we call, is it emotional what?
It's psychological torture.
Yeah,
now.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
psychological torture, right? So, and we do that a lot. It happens, I mean, more often than not. True, right?
Yeah.
Now, once a woman does that, is it then okay for a man to walk away emotionally? As you say that women tend to walk away emotionally first before they walk away physically.
I guess it depends on the kind of person you are.
Right.
There are
As
those
a-
who
as
are
a
not
man.
able to, there are those who are not able to disconnect while you're still there.
Right.
And there are those who have to be really out of the situation.
Right.
If I walked away to test the man,
Yes.
then I'd only be stupid.
Yes.
Because the next time I walk away, he
Yes.
won't take me seriously.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
there
I
are not
knew of somebody who did that,
Yes.
and she walked away, and she went and stayed with her mother the first month, the second month.
Yes.
And then one day she called the husband, and the husband told her, I don't know why you're where you are.
Yes.
I guess you're taking a break. The day you want to come back home, come back home.
Yes.
You see, she flipped it on herself.
Yes.
Did
You
it
know?
work?
She
Did
called.
she come
She
back?
eventually came back home because he said, actually, he knew what was going on.
Yes.
It was infidelity.
Yes.
But then now she gave him the opportunity to actually be the good boy.
Yes.
Because he told her, you packed your bags on your own.
Yes.
You left. You didn't talk to me. I know you're in your mother's house. When you finish what you're doing there, please come back home.
Yes.
You're my wife.
Gentlemen, lady, we've ran out of time. Final words, Pastor S.
Relationships take a lot to build. Get into it advisedly, but once you're in it and you're married, don't just walk away for any flimsy reason. Before you walk away, try all means. Try counseling, talk to the person, try everything you can, because you don't want just to walk away and leave so much that you have invested in. Relationships are not easy. Let's hold on and let's make it work.
Emily?
What I'd say also, relationships, by the time you're getting into a relationship, know the person you're getting into the relationship with, study their family. Most of the time, if you understand their family, where they're coming from, where they're going, you'll realize you have a better relationship, and give it time. People change over time. People change when children come. And what I'd say is, I don't believe there's anything irreconcilable if it's caught early, in the early stages. What we do is we tend to postpone the problem. So when the problem starts happening, start dealing with it then. Don't wait for the man to change, or don't wait to change for yourself. So I'd say, yes, it can still be worked out, but if you feel your life is in danger, then yeah, you can walk away.
Quach.
I'm going to talk to the ladies today, and you know what? If you are in a scenario where you're married and you cheat on your man, or you disrespect him in the sense that you're disrespecting him in public, he will go without even passing through Pastor S's office. Don't dog on him, don't cheat on him, and don't disrespect him. You'll be good.
This has been Mentality. Until next week, good night.